allow you to spend more than 180 days without obtaining it. We only say submit your national identity to your mobile operator. Then citizens say we don't have it, let us go and obtain it. Then the first question, why did you fail to obtain until when the issue of SIM came up? National identity is a law and is mandatory. And for you to even conduct certain activities in this country without the number is an offense. For you to get voters card in Nigeria based on section 27 of NIMSI Act, it is an offense. For you to open a bank account without national identity number is an offense. For you to pay tax is an offense. For you to collect pension is an offense. For you to enjoy any government service without having national identity number is an offense. Section 29 says, if you do any of this in 27 without obtaining national identity, you have committed a crime that will lead to fine or imprisonment or both of them. And this is 14 years, not today. With all sense of humility, Mr. President has appointed me to ensure laws and policies of government are implemented. I'm not a kind of person that will be appointed to sit down and continue drinking tea like this. It's impossible. Any responsibility given to me, it must be obeyed. It must be. And this is my nature. When I feel I can't, then I clear the screen for someone to occupy the position. But as long as I'm there, I must enforce the law. When we are no more in office, if somebody wants to ensure law is not obeyed, then when we leave, he can come and allow people to do as they wish. But if we are there with all sense of humility and responsibility, we want to ensure our laws are respected, and we will go to any extent to convince our citizens to respect the law, and we will do our best to enforce the law in collaboration with other stakeholders and security agencies. This is what we have been doing to ensure compliance with the law. And I do hope I have answered the question. So whether criticism or not is not what we are after. Usually at the initial stage of any good policy, people will criticize. But I believe we will leave the sector better than how we have found it. It is there, and then history will be very kind to us. When we have a complete database and we significantly reduce using SIM to commit crime in the country, you will look at our history with nostalgia and appreciate what we have done. But as far as I'm concerned, when I'm doing the right thing, commendation and criticism are all the same. What is important to ensure we do the right thing. And we always pray that we will be guided in doing that. About the center, we have over 1,060 centers all over the country. And these centers have been in place for many years. There was a time that NIMS was going from one place to another, lobbying people to get enrolled, they failed. It is only now they want to comply with the law because they want to make calls with their SIM. NI number is mandatory. SIM is not mandatory, it's optional. If I say I will not use SIM in Nigeria, nobody will take me to court. It's optional, but this number is mandatory. So why we fail to comply with mandatory law until and unless when we want to enjoy the privilege of using a SIM, which is optional in our life. However, as the Minister of Communications, I will appreciate if you continue to use your SIM. The total enrollment, the complete enrollment so far is over 150 million. It's over 150 million, the complete enrollment, not to talk of the pending ones, because there are some with challenges. One of the major challenges we have encountered recently is in the process of verifying biometric of NI number and that of SIM. You will discover NIMSI has a template that you must capture 10 fingers. And in capturing, you must ensure that you get the biometric right. But what we inherited in SIM registration mostly is the heads of the fingers like this. People just thumbprinted with head. So when you try to capture, you will see it will not match. So this is one of the major challenges. Most probably, when we are done with the verification, some citizens will be encouraged to resubmit their biometric for registration of their SIM in order to ensure, but we want to make sure we make the process much, much easier for our citizens. The issue of right of way, I think the best way I have said so is through engaging the governors, because they have a certain control of land in their states. It is because of this we must engage them, and that is why I have been engaging them through National Economic Council and Nigeria Governors Forum. And secondly, I did not criticize the governors. What I said, some states did not comply, and I did not mention them. What I did was more of appreciation on behalf of the federal government, because we have some states that they have zero rated even the right of way, like Kaduna, like Anambra, like Kwara State is only 1 naira per linear meter instead of even 145. In Kwara, we did a computation and we discover from one local government to another, before we engage them, right of way is around 560 million naira, but today it's less than 250,000 naira. So by implication, if all other states comply, the price of data will continue to come down, because we address the challenge with regards to cost of production. Then I think a reporter from Tribune, people using WhatsApp, Facebook to commit crime. This is related to my earlier statement that when internet came to Nigeria, broadband around 2000, there wasn't any framework in place to ensure that it came into Nigeria on a very, very solid foundation. In all the developed nations and developing nations that are highly responsible, when internet comes in, there must be a framework and model in place. Part of it is what we call internet exchange point. Like you build a house, you fence it, and you have an entrance with a gate there. In Nigeria, even by the time I was appointed to supervise the ministry, we don't have up-to-date internet exchange point. It's just like you build a house and you, without fence, anybody can come in from any angle he wishes. So internet has a border. The way we complain about our border with neighboring countries is the same way with our internet. There wasn't any border that will prevent the coming of illegal people into our country. It is now, we have recently directed NCC to ensure that we complete the process of internet exchange point, that all internet providers must come through internet exchange point. This will be able to guide government in reducing criminality significantly. And this is in the pipeline. The compliance so much is commendable. We are not yet there because it requires a lot of investment in order to achieve that. And we know the challenge of resources in our country, particularly within this period that we just exited recession, but we are still working on it. Extending NI and SIM registration, I have responded to this as well. Kidnappers and banditry using SIM card to commit crime. I have been responding to this in many fora. As I said, on 25th September 2019, we achieved 100% update of our SIM registration with regards to unregistered SIMs. But that did not address all the challenges of improperly registered. What we have been doing now is to address the challenge of improperly registered. The first one is unregistered, but now improperly registered. We want to assure you that as long as we are able to reach the end of the exercise, we will reach a situation that no SIM in Nigeria will not be attached to its rightful owner. And this is what we want to leave behind as a legacy for the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. We have been working on that. Secondly, even if we don't know the owner of the SIM, we have geographic positioning system. When a SIM is being used, that GPS will try to narrow the position to not more than maybe this building that the call is coming from this direction. The facilities are available. As I said earlier, not all security issues are discussed in public. With the recent ban of SIM registration, we have been receiving reports of commendation from people that are charged with the responsibility of securing our country. Criminals used to use SIM in only one communication. Sometimes they can use 100 SIMs within 24 hours using one mobile phone. Now, most of them exhausted the SIMs with them. If they continue to repeat and recycle the SIM, they can easily be intercepted. If they fail to use them, then they will find it difficult to communicate. So no matter how you feel uncomfortable with that ban, it's not up to 1% of the heat they are feeling today. So that is why we must make sacrifices for our country to be a better place. We don't have any personal benefit. We are endangering our lives as CEOs and ministers, but it's the way we will contribute our quota to make the country a better place for all. On the issue of multiple databases we have in the country with police, with National Immigration Service, and many more, based on the law of Nigeria, the only primary database is National Identity Management Database. It's the only primary database. Why other institutions are collecting your biometric? Because we don't have a complete National Identity Management Database in place. I think this is the major challenge. And this is what we want to achieve starting from October 2020 to date. We started the process of harmonization. And the major challenge we are being confronted with is lack of compliance of other institutions with the template designed by NIMSI. It is their statutory responsibility. In some places, even the biometric is only 4 fingers instead of 10. The process of collecting is not the same. The image of your passport photograph is not the same with the template of NIMSI. In NIMSI, even your height must be captured. So there are many things. You will discover that no matter how we collect your database from other institutions, definitely is insufficient. Many things are missing, and you must come forward and present them. This is one. And secondly, if we get it right with NIMSI database, a situation will come that you don't, in any way, you don't need to go to any institution and provide your biometric or any biodata. They can only get access to NIMSI database with your consent. Look at recently, JAM announced that if you get registered, you only need to submit your national identity number. Even your name, you don't need to submit. How are they going to get? They will use NIMSI database. For registration, only submit your NI number. This is the only requirement, not your name, or your school, or your age, or your date of birth, or your local government. You don't need to. Only submit your NI number. We want to reach a situation that if you go for passport, only give them your name. Driver's license, give them your name. Whatever you need, you only need to present your name, because it is the primary database of Nigeria. All other databases are secondary. And if you look at the composition of NIMSI governing board, you will discover that it is a deliberate effort to make it the primary database. CBN is a board member. FRIS, board member. Road safety, board member. Police force, board member. SSS, board member. National Security Advisors Office, board member. Immigration is a board member. National Population Commission, board member. All the institutions, these are only examples, in addition to many, all institutions that collect data are board members of NIMSI. Why? Because it is the primary database. So what we want to achieve is to ensure we have a complete database so that that duplication will be avoided in the future. And we do hope that as media experts, you have a role to play. You always try to convey positive news to our citizens about what government has been doing with regards to that. It is our collective responsibility. We have nothing to benefit in frustrating the effort of having 100% database of our citizens in place. If we achieve that, we will all be proud of our country. Today, we live in a country where our population is being estimated by saying plus minus 10 million. Are you happy with this? Nobody will be happy. Plus minus 10 million is enough to be a population of another country. But we want to achieve that we have a complete database. If you say population census, I'm sorry to say some people will manage it, will abuse it. Because so many states want their population to be high, and it's only head counting without any digital record. But NIMS, you cannot manipulate it. The population will be exact. It's not just head counted. It must be exact. And this is what we want to achieve, so that even managing and abusing our population or the figures because of personal interest cannot be repeated in the future. So I will allow EVC or DG NIMS first to respond, or you want to start?
Thank you very much.
You start the EVC.
Honorable Minister, thank you. You have actually answered all the questions. The only one outstanding is a question by Bloomberg, wanting to know.
Even the questions I responded, you may wish to comment. There's no problem. You are free to do that, no problem.
Bloomberg, Honorable Minister, asked about the undersea cable capacity in this country. That is the fiber cable at the landing point in Lagos, if I understand correctly. We have 4 such submarine cables serving as gateway to international traffic, both coming into the country and going out of the country. And the 4 are main one, Glow One, MTN, and WAX, the West African Submarine Cable Company. The combined capacity is 60 terabytes. So that's the combined capacity. The total number of fiber cable in the country is 54,725 kilometers. In the next level document of the federal government under the leadership of His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari GCFR, the total amount of fiber that is required in the country is 120,000 kilometers. It is expected that when this capacity is reached, then we can be able to move this massive capacity from the landing point in Lagos into the hinterland. That is why, if we can do that, we will see the cost of data even coming down from under 500 naira that it is at the moment to the 390 by 2025. This number of this length of fiber was achieved during the period of this administration. It was nowhere near 30,000 kilometers. So this government has added the almost 25,000 kilometers of fiber into the inter and intra fiber network, in the country. And it is for this reason that we have licensed and approved the infrastructure companies to mobilize the site. The licensing process has been completed, and recently the Honorable Minister has granted permission for us, to ask the licensees to mobilize and deploy fiber in the locations, they have been licensed in the country. Remember, there are 7 locations, the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, and Lagos as a zone, on its own. It is expected that when they deploy, the Nigerian Communications Commission will monitor the milestones, seen in the deployment, and in those areas that are economically unviable, government may be disposed to give, some counterpart funding, only for areas that are economically unviable, not in all areas. So this is a situation of fiber deployment vis-a-vis the under cable capacity in the country. Thank you very much.
DG names it.
I think the Honorable Minister have already answered most of the most of the issues. I only wanted to add that Anthony asked about non-Nigerians. Already, as you know, the law also says that we should capture both Nigerians and also non-Nigerians, including the diplomatic corps too. So the idea of this security is to have everybody in the database. The moment that you create loopholes, then you will be creating a lot of bigger loopholes that cannot be answered. He also asked about the total NIN now. The minister already mentioned about the total SIMs now, but the total NIN is, as of this morning, is 51 million. So, and the what is more than 51 million this morning? Those that have been completed the process. There are still some in the ABs, but it's not even the absolute number. What we need to see is the growth, rate. So since the minister took over, the number of enrollment centers have doubled. The number of computer systems have tripled. And then the number, he has given us a target that we should increase by 5 times the monthly enrollment. We were doing averagely 500,000. As of this month, we have recorded more than 2.6 million. So he has asked us to multiply it by 5, and we have already received this. And also that the telcos are to deploy Android-based enrollment system, which are ready but has not been deployed. And once that this happens, then we should have a lot of centers, a lot of points to cover the whole of the population. So is this growth, the rate at which the enrollment is growing, that is really fantastic for us. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, when it comes to linking NIN with SIM, you should remember SIM NI number is unique, while SIM is not. So based on our computation through NCC, we discover usually each NI number could be linked up to 3 to 4 SIMs, because this is the average number of SIMs attached to individuals. So if you can link all of them, each NI number 3 to 4 SIMs, you will discover that the number is high in accommodating our existing SIMs in the country. Because, for example, I may have 4 SIMs, Malan Garba Shehu may have 4, I think DG says he has 6, EVC 3, DG need to say 6. So even from here, you'll discover that if you want to take the average, it should be around 4 or 5. So the same with many people. Because not only SIM, including that of your data for your artificial intelligence or other applications at home. So as long as we will be able to link all of them, I have no doubt it will cover more than 85 to 90% of our existing SIMs owned by innocent citizens and legal residents. Thank you. DG Nida, over to you.
Honorable Minister, I just want to comment on the social media hacking. Based on research, more than 90% of cybersecurity incidents are as a result of human error in terms of maybe letting one of your information to get to a wrong hands. So after upgrading our SAT in October last year, the Honorable Minister directed that we should operate 24/7. And our strategy is, since most of the incidents are as a result of human error and mostly social engineering, someone will call you and maybe try to give you some information or an appealing something and get your own information to hack the system. So we do a lot of awareness. to let our citizens know the do and the don'ts on the cyber space. And also we have a mechanism in place and techniques that can help to prevent that. In a situation whereby your system is hacked, we are available to support you to recover and restore your services. So we've been doing this for citizens as well as government organizations. And we issue advisory notes from time to time on our social media handles, and we write to MDAs and other private organizations on how to improve their own security. Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister, before we round off, maybe there is a need to state categorically, clarify this. What is the number of registered SIM cards and what is the number of Nigerians on the NIN registration?
I think I have answered that. I think I have answered that. Firstly, I say what you need to remember is national identification number is unique. If you have one, it will be linked to all your SIMs. If you deploy or download NIMSI app online, you will be able to link up to 7 lines directly without going anywhere to only one national identity number. National identity number will determine the total number of unique citizens enrolled, but SIM does not do that because you cannot have 2 NI number, but you can have even 7 SIMs. Or in some cases, based on available record, you can have before we started the process, you can even have up to 60 or 70 SIMs because there is no limit to it. So the total number of unique NI that are 100% ready is more than 51 million. More than 51 million. And we said that SIM usually is around 150. No, it's more than that.
On average, 3 to a NIN.
Yeah. The total number of enrollment of SIM, I think, is around 180 something now. It's around 189. So if you compute one NI accommodating 3 to 4 SIMs, you will discover when the process is completed, it will accommodate more than 90% of the existing SIMs we have. So, and this is what is the most important clarification. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister and your team. I think this is the time to end this very rewarding, very highly productive conversation. And to say that, Minister, you deserve congratulations by Nigerians. Your team has done so well, so much for the country at a time when virtually every sector has been hit and brought down by the corona epidemic. You have grown by 14%, 14.0%, and become 7.0, and moving this sector to become a very strong pillar of the nation's economy. I remember reading about the growth of the IT industry by 2% in India. And the Prime Minister Modi has been jumping up and about the place, congratulating that industry. They are doing 14.70. This is first class, and I'm not sure this is beaten by any other country. So congratulations to your very brilliant and imaginative team, and thank you for this wonderful and excellent presentation. For you, our friends here, we thank you for your participation. And may I suggest that please review this meeting among yourselves, and if you think there is a way we can make it better. This is the 6th out now, so let's hear from you so that we can also improve what we're doing. Thank you for this participation. Have a nice day.
With the kind permission of with the kind permission of my brother Malan Garba Shehu, he said even here in Nigeria, based on what we have achieved, our boss President Muhammad Buhari has commended our effort as usual. And that commendation is even in writing, that he commended our effort and he encouraged us to redouble our effort and achieve more in the future. So we are most appreciative of that. Thank you very much.